He feared she'd eat him alive. The war was over. Humanity had lost. Captain Ray Carter sat in a cold metal room, his hands chained to the wall. The lights were dim, and the air smelled like iron and smoke. He had fought bravely, but in the end, it didn't matter. The Valari, a powerful alien race, had defeated Earth's forces. Ray was one of the few soldiers still alive, but now, he was a prisoner, and not just any prisoner. He had been captured by Shira, a high-ranking Valari warlord. She was tall, armored, and deadly. Stories about her were told in every military base. Some said she drank human blood. Others said she ate her enemies alive. Ray didn't know which story was true. But right now, alone in this cell, he believed every one of them. Suddenly, the heavy door opened with a deep hiss. Ray tensed. His heart raced. She entered. Shira stood in front of him, her armor dark and shining, her eyes glowing faintly blue. She was not human. Her face was sharp, her voice deep and cold. "So," she said, slowly walking toward him, "this is what a human hero looks like." Ray didn't answer. He stared at her, ready to die. He had fought aliens, lost friends, seen death, but this was worse. Being at the mercy of a creature who might see him as food. Shira stepped closer. She leaned down, staring into his eyes. "You think I brought you here to kill you?" she asked. Ray didn't speak. He tried to look strong, but he was shaking inside. Shira smiled. "Don't worry, human. I'm not here to eat you." Ray looked confused. This wasn't what he expected. "I brought you here," she continued, "because I need your help." Ray blinked. "Help? What kind of joke was this?" "You've lost," he said. "Earth has fallen. What could you possibly need from me?" Shira stood straight and folded her arms. Her voice was calm. "You fear me. That's good. But listen carefully. Something worse is coming. Something that can destroy both your kind and mine." Ray's eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" "The Sylph," Shira said, her voice suddenly serious. "Ancient beings, not like us, not like you. They live in the shadows of space. We thought they were gone. But we were wrong." She walked around the cell slowly. "They're waking up. Feeding again. Soon they'll come for both our worlds. And neither of us can stop them alone." Ray didn't trust her. Why would he? She was the enemy. Her people had killed thousands, maybe millions. And now she was talking about monsters. "In the dark? Why me?" he asked. "Why not your own kind?" "Because," she said, looking at him with strange respect, "humans are different, wild, unpredictable. That's why you fought so hard, even when you knew you'd lose. The Sylph can't read you, but they can read us." Ray felt a chill. Was this real, or just another alien game? "I don't trust you," he said. "You shouldn't," Shira replied. "But trust or not, we don't have time." She stepped closer again and pressed a button on her wrist. The chains around Ray's wrists unlocked and fell with a loud clank. Ray stood slowly, rubbing his sore arms. He looked at her. She didn't attack. She just waited. "You want me to help you stop this, Sylph?" he asked. Shira nodded. "I need your instincts, your courage, your chaos." Ray laughed once, bitterly. "You destroyed my planet. You killed my people." Shira didn't flinch. "And now I offer you a choice. Die in this cell, or come with me. Help stop something worse." Ray stared at her. He hated her, feared her. But something in her voice felt real. Before he could answer, the ground shook. Lights flickered. Somewhere far away, an alarm began to ring. A deep, strange hum filled the air like 1,000 whispers. Shira's eyes widened. "They're closer than I thought," she said. She reached out her hand. Ray hesitated. Then slowly, he took it. "Good," she said. "We move now." As they left the cell together, Ray looked back one last time. He didn't know what he feared more now, Shira Or the thing she was running from. I've seen a Valari tear a man in half, but this one just saved me. Ray Carter kept repeating the thought in his mind as he followed Shira through the dark hallway of the alien ship. His legs were weak, his mind confused. Just one day ago, she was the monster in his nightmares. Now she was his only hope. The ship shook again. Lights above them flickered red. Where are we going? Ray asked, breathing heavily. Shira didn't. Turn. To a place where your kind never goes. The lower hangar. Why? What's there? She stopped suddenly and turned to face him. A ship, she said. Not mine, not yours. Something stolen. And hidden for this day. Ray narrowed his eyes. You've been planning this? Since before your people ever reached the stars. She replied. He didn't like the answer. But before he could ask more, the walls around them groaned. A whispering sound, like wind blowing through broken glass, echoed from the hallway behind them. Ray froze. Shira's eyes turned sharp. They're here. The Sylph? Ray asked quietly. Shira nodded. Their scouts move ahead of the main swarm, like shadows. They speak in your voice, show you your fears, then feed. Ray looked around but saw nothing. I don't see anything. You will, Shira said. They rushed down the corridor. Doors opened with strange clicking sounds. The walls were covered with symbols Ray couldn't read. Everything felt ancient and alive. At last, they entered a wide circular room. In the center sat a small black ship, smooth and quiet like a sleeping animal. Shira ran her fingers across its surface. The ship lit up. Ray was about to ask what made it special when a voice spoke behind him. You shouldn't have trusted her, Ray. He spun around. There was no one there, but the voice. It was his own voice. Another whisper came. She killed your people. Now she's taking you to your death. Ray's hands shook. He looked at Shira. She seemed focused on the ship, ignoring everything, but the whispers grew louder. You're just a tool to her. You're still a prisoner. She'll betray you. Ray stepped back, dizzy. The lights turned dim. The room felt colder. A black shape moved across the wall. No face, no body, just smoke. The Sylph, Ray's breathing grew fast. Panic filled his chest. Ray! Shira shouted, grabbing his arm. Listen to me. Don't look at it. Don't listen. Ray struggled. What is it doing to me? They feed on your fear, she said. The more you feel, the stronger they get. You must fight it. The shape hissed. Its voice changed into Ray's old commander. You failed your men. You let them die. Ray closed his eyes. He gritted his teeth. No, he whispered. The room shook again. Shira raised her hand, firing a pulse weapon at the shadow. It screamed and vanished for now. Ray collapsed to his knees, sweating. What was that? He asked. X. IRA helped him up. That was only one. They send more. Always more. Ray looked into her eyes. You were right. These things. They're not like anything I've seen. She nodded. Now you believe me. Ray stood up slowly. What do we do now? Shira looked at the small ship. We escape. And then? We make a deal. With who? Ray asked. Shira's face turned hard. Your people. Earth's leaders. We need them. Ray blinked. You think they'll listen to me? After everything? They'll listen, Shira said, because if they don't, they die. They entered the ship. Its inside was warm and lit with soft blue light. Ray sat down, still shaking from the encounter. Shira touched the controls. The ship started to lift. Then she looked at Ray again. Her voice softer now. Do you still think I brought you here to kill you? Ray stared at her for a moment, then shook his head. No, but I still don't trust you. Shira gave a small smile. That's wise. Outside the hangar, the walls began to split. Black smoke poured in. The Sylph were coming. Ray gripped the seat. Let's move. As the ship launched into space, the alien station behind them began to crack apart. The shadows followed, but not fast enough. For now they were safe. But Earth wasn't. She bled blue. That's when he knew she wasn't a monster. She was mortal. Just like him, the stolen ship flew silently through empty space. The stars outside were still, peaceful, but inside the ship, something was wrong. Shira collapsed. 1 second, she was flying the ship. The next, her body went limp. Her head hit the console, her breathing short and shaky. Shira! Ray shouted, rushing to her side. She was cold to the touch. Her armor flickered, and for the first time, Ray saw something he never expected: fear in her eyes. "Don't touch the neck joint," she gasped. "Poison, radiation." Ray looked around the small ship. No med kit. No AI assistant. No idea what to do. He gently pulled back part of her armor. That's when he saw it, a long deep gash across her ribs. It wasn't fresh. It had been there before. Maybe from the battle. Maybe from something worse. Thick, glowing blue blood leaked out slowly. She had been wounded all this time. And she never told him. "You were already dying," Ray whispered. Shira gave a weak smile. "Not yet, but close." "Why hide it?" "Because you wouldn't follow a dying leader," she said, eyes closing. "And I needed you to follow." Ray looked at her, this alien who had captured him, scared him, now lying broken in front of him. Not a warlord, not a monster. Just a being trying to stop something worse. Ray searched the ship. He found a strange pod, medical tech maybe. It looked like a silver egg, glowing faintly. He dragged her inside, her body heavy in his arms. She didn't fight. As he closed the pod, she looked at him one more time. "If I die," she whispered, "don't go back to Earth. Warn them, hide them, lie to them if you must. But stop the Sylph." The pod sealed, lights blinked. Strange sounds filled the air. Ray sat beside the pod and closed his eyes. Hours passed. Ray stared out the window, lost in his own thoughts. He remembered the war. His team, their last stand. He remembered fire, screaming. The moment the sky turned black, he remembered hating the Velari. But now one of them had bled for him, risked everything. Why? He didn't have the answer. Suddenly, the ship beeped. The pod opened. Xira stepped out, weak but alive. "Your tech worked," Ray said. "It wasn't mine," she replied. "The ship. It was made by those who feared the Sylph long ago. It's part Velari, part something else." Ray helped her sit. "I need to ask," he said. "Why are you doing this? Why betray your people?" Shira looked at him with tired eyes. "They made a deal with the Sylph long ago," she said. "To win the war, to destroy Earth." Ray froze. "You're saying the Velari invited them?" She nodded slowly. "But they didn't understand what they were calling." Ray's fists clenched. "And now they're coming for everyone." "Yes," she said, "unless we stop them." Later, the ship entered orbit over a strange green planet. Unmarked. "Hidden. This world was forgotten," Shira explained. "But it holds a key." "A key to what?" Ray asked. "Memories," she said. "The Sylph leave traces, echoes. If we can find their history, we can find their weakness." They landed in a thick jungle. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Ray followed her through the trees. Soon, they found it a temple, tall and black, buried in vines and dust. Symbols covered the walls. Some moved when Ray stared at them. Inside, it was colder. Darker. Like the shadows were watching. Shira touched the wall. "They built this," she whispered, "long before we knew their name." Ray stepped forward and felt something strange. Voice echoed in his mind. "She belongs to us." He turned to Shira. Her eyes were wide. Her hands shook. Ray grabbed her shoulder. "What's happening?" She backed away. I don't know. I've never heard it speak before." Ray looked around. Is this place safe? No, she said. But we have no choice. Cliffhanger ending. As they moved deeper into the temple, a dark shape appeared ahead. It wasn't a Sylph scout. It was a Valari soldier, but twisted. His body was bent, his eyes pitch black. Shira froze. He was one of ours. But he's changed. Ray raised his weapon. What happened to him? The creature smiled, mouth filled with sharp teeth. We are already inside her. Ray turned to Shira, and for the first time, he saw real terror in her eyes. It didn't speak with its own mouth. It spoke using his dead friend's voice. Ray Carter stood frozen in the temple's shadows, staring at the thing that used to be Valari. Its body twitched like it didn't fit in its own skin. Its smile was too wide. Its voice too human. Ray. It said again, softly, "It's me. It's Eli. Remember me, buddy?" Ray's stomach turned. Eli had died months ago in the Battle of Titan III, burned alive in a dropship explosion. Ray had buried him with his own hands, but now his voice echoed from this twisted creature. Shira raised her arm. A blue light flickered in her palm. "A weapon? No," she said sharply. "Don't listen. It's not real. It's them." "The Sylph," Ray stared. "How do they know his voice?" "They don't just read memories," Shira said. "They steal them, touch a mind once, and they never forget." Ray's heart pounded. "They were in my head." "Yes," she said. "And the deeper we go, the more they will take." The creature took a step closer. Its voice cracked. "You left me to die, Ray. You ran. You always run." Ray pointed his blaster. His hand trembled. "I didn't run," he whispered. "I couldn't save you." The creature tilted its head. "Then why do you still hear me screaming?" Shira fired. A sharp burst of blue light hit the thing's chest. It screamed a horrible sound like metal grinding inside bone and collapsed into ash. The silence that followed was worse. Ray dropped to his knees, breathing hard. "I don't know what's real anymore." Shira knelt beside him. "That's how they win. Confusion, guilt, memory. The Sylph don't need ships or guns. They break you from the inside." Ray looked at her. "How do you keep them out?" She paused. "I don't," she said. "I just keep walking." They continued deeper into the temple. The walls pulsed with strange light. Black roots crawled across the ceiling like veins. Whispering sounds followed their every step. Then they found it. A memory chamber. A circular room with a glass-like floor. In the center stood a tall black stone, floating slightly above the ground. Around it, images flickered, faces, planets, wars, screams. Ray stepped inside, but Shira grabbed his arm. "Be careful. This place shows you the truth, but truth isn't always safe." Ray nodded and touched the stone. Instantly, his mind exploded. With visions, Earth burning in blue fire. Valari cities consumed by black storms. Sylph shadows rising from under oceans, crawling into human bodies. Shira, standing before a Sylph queen. Bowing. Ray yanked his hand away, gasping. "You served them once," he said. Shira's jaw tightened. "I didn't serve. I obeyed. There's a difference." Ray's eyes narrowed. "Is that why they're in your head too?" "Yes," she said quietly. "They marked me when I was a child. They called me the vessel. My family thought it was a blessing. And now, she said, "I know it was a curse." Suddenly, the chamber trembled. The images faded. From behind them, footsteps. Not whispers. Not illusions. Real, heavy, metallic. Ray turned his blaster. Ready. From the darkness, a Valari hunting squad emerged, 6 warriors in full armor, weapons drawn. Shira cursed under her breath. One of the soldiers removed her helmet. Her face looked like Shira's. Ray stepped back. "Is that?" "My sister," Shira said coldly. "Warlord Viren." Viren spoke loud and clear. "Shira, traitor of the throne. Pet of humans, your time is over." Ray raised his weapon. "I don't want to kill anyone," Viren laughed. You won't need to. You'll be dead long before you try. Suddenly, the shadows in the chamber moved, not soldiers. Not Sylph, something else, something merged. Half Velari, half Sylph, eyes black, mouths dripping silver liquid. One of them hissed, "We remember you, vessel." Shira didn't flinch, but her voice was ice. "Then you remember what I did last time?" Ray glanced at her. "You have a plan, right?" Shira nodded. "Run." They fired and sprinted as the temple exploded in war cries. Cliffhanger ending, Ray and Shira ducked into a collapsing hallway. As they slammed the door behind them, Ray asked, "Are they following us?" Shira turned, blood on her lip. "No," she said. "They're not trying to kill us," Ray frowned. "Then what do they want?" Shira stared at the dark wall ahead. "They want to take us back alive." Ray's voice dropped. "Why?" She looked at him, voice cold and quiet. "Because I'm not the only vessel anymore." Ray had seen war, but he had never seen a family fight like this. Blaster fire lit up the jungle sky. Black smoke rose over the ancient temple ruins as Shira and Ray ran through thick trees. Heartbeats racing. Behind them, Velari hunters chased like wolves. They weren't just any soldiers. They were Shira's own blood, her sister's personal guard, and her sister, Warlord Varen, wasn't here to arrest. She was here to destroy. Ray ducked behind a fallen tree. "We can't keep running. They're faster." Shira looked around, eyes sharp and scanning. "No, they're not chasing. They're hurting us," Ray frowned. "What?" "They want us to go where she waits." Ray stood up, shoulders tense. "Then let's not give her the pleasure." Shira didn't move. Her voice dropped. "We have to face her." They didn't run anymore. Ray and Shira stepped into a wide clearing, surrounded by tall glowing stones. In the center stood Viren, tall, armored, and smiling. The smile of a sister who had waited too long for revenge. "So," Viren said, "this is your great rebellion, Shira? A dying race and one broken human?" Shira didn't answer. She walked forward alone. "I didn't come to fight you," she said. "You already did," Viren snapped. "When you chose them over us, when you took their side." Ray stepped forward. "She's trying to stop the Sylph, the same thing that infected your own soldiers." Viren laughed. "The Sylph? You still believe her little bedtime stories?" "They're real," Ray said firmly. "They used my voice, my memories. They almost tore my mind apart." Viren's smile faded. "I've heard the whispers," she said slowly. "In the quiet, in my dreams, but that doesn't excuse treason." Shira stepped closer. "It was never about you, Viren. It was about our people, about survival." Viren's eyes burned. "Don't speak of survival. You abandoned your blood. For what? A human? Some ancient myth?" Shira pulled something from her belt, a small crystal cube, glowing with black and blue. Ray recognized it from the temple. "The Sylph are real," Shira said. "This memory stone proves it. And if you kill me now, you kill your only chance to stop them." Viren stared at the cube for a long time. Her hands twitched, then she looked at Ray. "You," she said coldly. "Why are you still alive?" Ray met her gaze. "Because she saved me." "Did she?" Viren said softly. "Or did she bring you to be part of her plan?" Ray hesitated. "What do you mean?" Viren stepped closer. "You think she's your friend? She's using you. She needs you because the Sylph won't fully control her while she protects you." Ray's throat went dry. He looked at Shira. "Is that true?" Shira's eyes widened. "That's not why I... Is it true?" Ray asked again, firmer. Xira paused. "Yes," she whispered. "But it's not the whole truth." Ray stepped back. A crack appeared in their trust. Before Shira could explain, a sound echoed through the clearing. A low hum. A pulse. A ship entered the sky, a human warship, heavy, armed, painted with Earth's flag. Ray stared in shock. That's one of ours, Viren smiled. I sent the beacon. I knew they'd come. Now Earth will see what you've become, sister. And what you're hiding. The warship hovered overhead. Doors opened. Ray's cum crackled to life. Captain Carter, is that you? This is Commander Reeves. We thought you were dead. Ray responded. Eyes still locked on Shira. I'm alive, but we have a problem. A big one. What's that? He looked at Shira. She's not the enemy anymore. Silence. Then the commander answered. Explain, quickly. Ray took a deep breath. The Velari made a deal with something ancient. The Sylph, they're still out there. They're growing. And this Velari Shira, she risked her life to stop them. More. Silence. Then Reeves replied, return to the ship, alone. Shira looked at Ray. He knew what they meant. They're not going to let you on, he said quietly. I know, she replied. Then what do we do? She handed him the memory cube. You take this, you go. You tell them the truth. All of it. Ray shook his head. You're not dying out here. I already died when I turned against my own kind, she said with a soft smile. This is just the final step. He stared at her, torn. Then a loud screech ripped through the air. The trees bent. The sky cracked. A black cloud rose from the far jungle. Not smoke. Sill. A swarm. Viren turned in horror. What have you done? Shira's voice was calm. I didn't bring them. They were already here. Cliffhanger ending. As the Sylph cloud rushed toward them, Ray grabbed Shira's arm. We run together this time. But she looked at him with something new in her eyes. Not fear. Resolve. Double quotes. No, you run. I stay. She walked toward the swarm and whispered, let them come. Shira didn't scream, not when the swarm touched her. Not even when it entered her mind. She just stood still, arms wide, head raised as the black mist of the Sylph wrapped around her like smoke with claws. Ray Carter watched from the edge of the clearing, his heart breaking and fists clenched. Come back, he shouted. Shira! But she didn't turn around. The Sylph didn't attack her. They circled her like they recognized something, like they were waiting. And then, in a flash of blue light, she vanished into the swarm. Gone. Ray didn't remember running. His legs carried him through the jungle as blaster fire cracked behind him. The human warship above opened fire, trying to push the Sylph swarm back. But the Sylph didn't care about bullets. They didn't burn. They didn't fall. They whispered. They entered. And they changed. Ray reached the human ship's landing zone just before the security gates closed. Get him inside. Someone yelled. Metal doors slammed behind him. The jungle disappeared. He fell to his knees. Gasping, Commander Reeves stood over him, cold, curious. You brought one of them with you, Reeves said. No, Ray growled. She brought me here, Reeves stared. Where is she? Ray looked. At the sealed doors. She stayed behind. Inside the ship, Ray was decontaminated, scanned, and questioned. Over and over, they didn't trust him, not fully, and maybe. He didn't trust himself either. He stared at the memory cube Shira had given him. Part of him wanted to smash it. Forget everything. But the other part, the part that saw what the Sylph could do, knew better. He activated the cube. A hologram opened in front of him. Not just images. A map. It showed an old Velari moon, hidden, locked by codes long forgotten. But Shira remembered. And now. So did Ray. We go there, he told Commander Reeves. That moon holds Sylph tech, maybe a way to stop them. Reeves shook his head. You're not giving orders, Captain. You're still a suspect. You've been compromised. Ray stood furious. You don't get it. The Sylph aren't coming. They're already here. They don't want to conquer us. They want to become us. Reeves narrowed his eyes. What do you mean? Ray took a deep breath. They're trying to merge species. They don't kill. They consume DNA, memories, identity. Reeves paused, then said quietly, Then why haven't they taken you? Ray hesitated. He didn't know the answer, but somewhere deep inside, he feared the truth. Hours later, against orders, Ray stole a small scout vessel. He didn't care about rules anymore. He only cared about Shira and the answers she had bled to protect. The journey to the lost moon took 2 days, alone in the dark. Ray studied the sylph patterns, watched the hologram over and over. The deeper he looked, the more he saw something terrifying, a pattern, a plan, a path. The sylph weren't just spreading randomly. They were moving toward Earth. Not with ships. With hosts. The lost Villari moon looked dead from orbit. Gray rock, black craters, no signs of life. But beneath the surface, Ray found a massive underground facility. It was quiet, dusty, cold, still alive. Flickering lights welcomed him. He stepped inside. And saw them. Pods. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Inside each one, a Villari body, or what used to be Villari. Now they were twisted, changed, hybrid. Human eyes, Villari armor, sylph veins, experiments, failed ones. Some were still breathing. One pod opened on its own. Ray raised his blaster, but the figure didn't move. It was Xira. Alive. Changed. Her skin was cracked with black veins. Her eyes glowed faint blue and dark gray. She looked at him. "Ray," she whispered. He stepped forward. "You're alive." "I don't know what I am," she said softly. "They didn't kill me. They showed me." "What did they show you?" She stepped out of the pod. Her voice sounded calm, empty. "They want to replace everything. Not just bodies, history, memory, identity. They will erase who we were." Ray looked into her eyes. "Did they change you?" She nodded. "A little, but they made a mistake." "What mistake?" "They showed me too much. Now I know where they're going next." "Earth," Ray said. "No," she replied. "Before Earth. They want me." Cliffhanger ending. Ray and Shira stood in the dark facility, surrounded by failed hybrids. Suddenly, every pod lit up. One by one, the hybrids opened their eyes and whispered in unison, "She is the beginning. She is the key." Ray stepped in front of her. "No," he said. "She's human now. She used to be a warrior, a prisoner, a traitor. Now, she was something else entirely." Shira stood in the middle of the ancient moon facility, her feet bare on the cold floor, surrounded by hundreds of half-alive sylph hybrids, all whispering her name, not as an enemy, but as a queen. Ray Carter raised his weapon again, not to shoot, but to protect. He didn't know what Shira had become, but he knew one thing: she wasn't theirs. "Not yet, Shira," he said softly. "Talk to me. Tell me you're still in there." She looked at him. Her voice was calm, but distant. "I saw their home," she whispered. "The sylph world is not a place, it's a mind. A shared thought stretching across stars." Ray took a slow step closer. "And what did they want from you?" "To lead," she said. "To become the firstborn of a new species, human instinct. Villari strength, sylph consciousness." Ray swallowed hard. "That's not evolution. That's infection." "No," she said. "That's replacement." The hybrid creatures took a step forward, not to attack, but to kneel. Ray backed away. "What are they doing?" "They think I've accepted," Shira said. "They think I've given in." Ray looked into her eyes. "Have you?" She paused. And then she smiled a sad, tired smile. "No," she said. "Because I had something else in mind." She stepped toward the central control tower, her long fingers glowing with sylph black light and Villari blue energy. "Ray," she said, "this moon isn't just a lab. It's a signal core." "A gateway. To where?" he asked. "To everything." She placed her palm on the console. Lights around the room flared. "They'll feel this," she said. "All of them." Ray moved beside her. "What are you doing?" "Shutting the gate, closing the hive." Locking them out of this galaxy forever, Ray blinked. You can do that? I can, she whispered. But it will kill me. The control panel opened. A blinding white pulse formed above it, growing. Spinning like a sun. Ray looked at her. You don't have to do this. I do, she said. You still have a world to save. I don't. Ray grabbed her wrist. You do now. Shira looked at him. There was silence. Then the hybrid screamed. The swarm outside had felt the change. They were coming. Fast. Xira turned back to the console. There's no time. The more they come, the harder it is to seal them out. She pulled something from her armor. A second memory crystal. This holds everything, she said. Their codes, their origins, their weaknesses. She pushed it into Ray's hand. You take this, and you run. Ray shook his head. I'm not leaving you. I'm already gone, she said softly. But if they ever return, this will be your sword. Suddenly, a violent shockwave hit the facility. Lights exploded. Alarms screamed. The hybrids began to melt, falling to the floor, howling in confusion. Shira winced. The Sylph were trying to take her back, but she resisted. Ray grabbed her shoulders. Let me stay. Let me help. She leaned in close. For the first time, her voice cracked. You already did. She touched his forehead. And Ray's vision exploded in light. He woke up alone, back on the surface. Near his crashed scout ship, the sky above was quiet. The swarm was gone. The stars calm. No hybrids. No whispering. No Xira. Just silence. Back on Earth, weeks passed. Ray handed over the Sylph data. The War Councils listened this time. The Velari were contacted. Warlord Varen stepped down. The truth spread like wildfire. Sylph had tried to erase two species, but one half-human, half-Velari woman had erased them instead. Her name became legend. Final scene. Ray stood by a small memorial in orbit around Earth. A black stone carved with two languages, Velari and English. It read, Shira. She feared nothing, not even herself. She wasn't made to destroy us. She was made to remind us what we could become. Ray placed a hand on the stone. You didn't eat me alive, he said with a smile. You gave me a reason to live. And far away, in some hidden corner of the galaxy, deep in the dark, a faint whisper echoed, We are not finished yet.